You could just feel this kind of electricity between these two actors.
Would you like to pick a new name? To mark your freedom, most ex-slaves do any name you want.
I just knew it was a big moment once her name was said, you know, because up until that point she was Minty. Harriet Tubman. It's quite something to be able to say it and make the decision as well.
In that scene particularly, I lose the Cynthia that I know, and I see Harriet. You know, I really see Harriet.
Welcome to You Know That Scene, an original series celebrating iconic scenes in cinema. The scenes are a jumping off point for a discussion between our esteemed guests, a group of makers, authors, critics, and influencers who all share one thing in common, a love of film. The film that we want to talk about today is Harriet. Harriet Tubman was a woman who was the original badass. This is somebody who was a slave who put her life on the line to free other slaves, bringing them from the South to the North.
It all builds up to the motivation that drives her and helped make her capable of doing all this, because you know the scene when she first approaches the Pennsylvania border and she sees her freedom right there. And then when she actually gets into the town and just has simple acts of human kindness, like when she walks up to that vendor.
Don't be afraid. There are plenty of us here in Philadelphia. Walk like you got a right to. Won't nobody pay you no mind.
Those little things just add up, and it helped make her the force that she was, and to be able to save so many people and make such a big difference.
You know what's really powerful is, you know that scene where she got to pick her own name.
To mark your freedom, most ex-slaves do any name you want.
She didn't want to be called Minty. She didn't want anything of the remnants of her old life as a slave coming into this new life as a free woman.
Harriet Tubman.
That was the most powerful, strongest statement that could have been made for Harriet in that moment, because this was her saying, this is me moving into the next chapter of my life without chains, without bondage, without somebody telling me what I can do, when I can do it, or how I can do it. When do you get to a point where you stop sitting on the sidelines and you get in the front line and you lead the line? You know that scene where she's on the bridge and her former owner is waiting for her. He's like, come on, nothing's gonna happen to you, you'll be fine.
Whoa, easy now. You can come on back. I won't hurt you bad.
And she's like, I'd rather die than not be free. You're in a situation where you're not viewed as a human being. You're viewed as a thing. And so in that moment, she's like, rather than live this existence right here that I've been living with you, I'm gonna jump in this river and it's gonna be a wrap. I'm done.
And I think it just says something about the character, because you know that scene, and it's towards the end of the film. They're in New York, they're at the senator's house. All of the abolitionists, the key members of the movement are there, and they've just passed the Slave Refugee Act, where the slaves can be caught anywhere, regardless of whether you're in the North or the South, and it's created panic.
Civil war might be our only hope.
We can't just give up and wait for war. We need to get back to work bringing slaves to freedom.
Cynthia gives everything, chews every inch of the scenery in that moment.
I've heard their groans and their sighs. I've seen their tears, and I would give every last drop of blood in my veins to free them. So I ain't giving up.
The rise of this one person to make such an enormous difference and to fight for what's right is so phenomenal.
She goes from 100 miles to 500 miles. And then leading an army.
Yeah, incredible. I think about all the people that she saved. It's unbelievable.
Bravo to that.
This was such a great conversation. Thanks everyone for watching today. So please like our page and hit our subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on You Know That Scene.